Yes, they do. It's looking more and more. Oh, what a shot by Hart.
50 there in midair. K1 Killer pass to Alex Big. This is a great play, and they tie it up.
Kick down. Billy Bob controls, tries to blast one on net. Slurpy Snail unable to. Corner pocket, says Billy Bob.
The big boost pad. Will 6 now. Puts one on and they get the sweep, and the 3 Rocketeers make the play. Hits off that top post. Beautiful demo in the net, and the shot's on. What a play right away by Alex. Ladies, gentlemen, Octanes, and Roadhogs, we are back, and we have 2 more matches to go here tonight. And kicking things off in this second half of tonight's main event, we have Clarity United taking on the Bleacher Boys. Joining me in the booth today is, again, the color analyst of all color analysts, Massimune. And Mass, we have a tale of the Savage Division, especially following the match that we just concluded.
Absolutely, we got Bleacher Boys, Clarity United, identical records. It seems to be the trend tonight, at least until our third game. Both coming in with a 4-5 record, so season not going exactly as they planned, but certainly not beyond salvagings. But it's just gonna be the tail of the tape. Their stats are so close right now that it's really gonna need somebody to pop off and take control for a clear victor to be decided.
No doubt about it, and these are 2 of the more storied franchises in league history. Clarity United obviously won the QRLS Cup in Season 1, have since not even made an appearance, whereas the Bleacher Boys started off their history rough, but ended up making the finals in Season 3, and you were a part of that squad, Massimune.
Yeah, absolutely. Bleacher Boys. I've got Bleacher Boys blood running through my veins, as you are obviously a lifetime honorary Shark. So they've definitely had their highs and their lows, and they're looking to turn this season around. Again, they're by no means down and out yet. Like they could very easily be close to the top of the leaderboards at the end of tonight, or that they could be, if they sweep tonight, they'll be second place, or tied for second place in the Savage Division. Same thing for Clarity. So this is yet another potentially tide turning matchup for both of these teams.
No doubt, and the potential sweeps on both sides really puts another added layer to this match tonight. The Bleacher Boys all-time are 14-10 against Clarity, so a pretty even record there all-time. However, we'll see tonight 3 more games get added to one of those 2 columns. And speaking of which, Mass, the prediction is up, and honestly, a lot of people have so much fun with the predictions. I have a lot of fun watching everybody go back and forth. Who do you have in this match tonight?
Oh, this one is much harder, honestly, than last game. Even though the vast majority of the votes went to Vive Clan, and I made out like a bandit, pretty good. Thank you all for all your channel points. But this one is much more difficult to predict. Identical records and all. I'm once again gonna go against the chat, against the crowd, and I'm going to go Bleacher Boys for this one. I think that they've just had, despite identical records, I think they've just had more competitive games than, or at least they've had more difficult matchups than Clarity. I don't think Clarity have had to quite come up against, the storm of offense of Astro or the Rangers. Or something similar to that. So I think Clarity have had it a little bit easier than the boys, and I think that should show up tonight on the field. But Alex RL is is in Clarity United, so he could just take the Bleacher Boys for a walk to Pound Town if he woke up on the right side of the bed. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Alex honestly has this huge asterisk over his head. He's a former league champion, multiple-time player of the week, season 4 All-Star. Guy is honestly on a rocket ship right now towards the top of the all-time standings, and we will see how Alex RL fares here tonight against the Bleacher Boys. The captain, Alec Big, we talk about him a lot. Obviously having turned a failing franchise into one that has become a household name in the QRLS. What kind of pressure do you think is on him right now, making that trade in the offseason for Heartless, who was an all-star last season on Clarity United, which is a good point to make out, that this is sort of a grudge match in and of itself for Heartless?
Yeah, certainly. And I mean, so Alec is definitely one of the most strategically minded players in the QRLS. As much as he denies it and he says that he's out there to have a good time, the guy wants to win. He's got winning in his blood. That's what he's about. That's what he does. So the fact that we're past week 3 and no changes have been made to the Bleacher Boys roster means he's confident in his team, and they're one of the most tightly knit teams that we currently have in the team lineup. So the fact that he gives them his vote of confidence just speaks a lot about K1 and Heartless.
No doubt about it, and there's a lot riding on this match. As we mentioned, ladies and gentlemen, if one of these two teams were to sweep, it does not matter which one, that team would be tied for second in the division, in the Savage division. So a lot riding here tonight. This could really claw some people out of the hole, so to speak, especially after rocky starts for both of these franchises.
Certainly, and even after that matchup between Astro and Five Clan, the Savage division was still the most competitive, or competing for the most competitive divisions currently. There's a 3-game differential between number 1 and number 4. So that has now become a little bit wider. That Astros moved on to 9 wins and 3 losses. But as we said, with a single sweep from either Bleacher Boys or Clarity, the number 1, 2, and 3 spots in Savage Division will all be within a game of each other. So, who's to say what's going to happen?
Yeah, no question about it. And, there's a lot riding on this match, as we mentioned, and a lot riding here tonight later on as the Hammerheads are taking on the Cyclones. The Hammerheads, the number 1 team in the calculated division. And on top of that, the Cyclones have the number 1 rookie of the season so far, anyways, who is the leading goal scorer in Kachow. But across the field is former league MVP Billy Bob. That is a matchup you are not going to want to miss. Mass, we have all sorts of crazy matches tonight. Yeah,
absolutely. That Hammerhead Cyclones game is definitely the one I'm looking forward to the most. I was surprised by the competitiveness of the previous game. Honestly, like those teams went at it. But the Hammerheads and the Cyclones, despite being number 1 and number 4 in the calculated divisions, they're so similar in their play styles and their team structure that it breeds good Rocket League, and it breeds competitive gameplay. So we'll see what happens when Billy Bob and Kachow meet on the field, and what their teams can do. I can't wait.
No doubt about it. This is honestly going to be super exciting here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. You don't want to miss any of the action, and you want to keep up with all of the news here in the QRLS, so go ahead and check out that Discord, and if you're in there already, check out the link tree set up beautifully by our head of media and video, K1 Killer. All the links you could possibly need to get all the QRLS content you want are in that link tree. Go ahead, check it out, and also go check out that merch store as we have these insane jerseys that are on the market. Mass, you just got one, I know. How the heck are these jerseys?
Oh, they're so nice. They're so comfortable. They're almost like pajama shirt quality levels of comfort. Really, really great quality on the stitching, on the logo, on the name, on the number, on the flag. Really no complaints whatsoever. Granted, I got mine for free due to winning the RLCS bracket event that Fabrizi hosted. Shout out to Fabrizi. But I was planning on buying one anyway, one for me and my wife as well. So highly recommended to anybody trying to rep their team, or just a fan of really good merchandise. If I had no money concerns to care about, and if gas wasn't a bajillion dollars per gallon, I would definitely buy, frankly, all of them and hang them in my dining room.
Yeah, eventually I will have a shrine of all these jerseys and any more jerseys that we might potentially be making later on down the road. Who knows? Hint, hint, foreshadow, potential.
Absolutely. And so just real quick, we got 1 minute left in predictions left. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you get your last minute submissions in to cash in on tonight's victory.
Absolutely, and kickoff was slated to be right at 9 o'clock here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. However, the teams are given a 10-minute grace period to get their affairs in order. Life does happen, and we are going to allow teams to use that 10 minutes as needed. And so we might be able to milk out this 10-minute clock here, Massimune, which is perfectly fine with me because all that means is we get to talk more stats, and you know how damn well I like to watch that stat sheet almost every day.
Well, I mean, it's pretty comprehensive. If you haven't, if you're new to the league, or if you've just never meandered down into the stats and standings channel under league operations, you owe it to yourself to really go take a look at it. It's a wonder to behold. Pretty much anything you could ask for, from the weekly results to the upcoming schedule. I know we put it out some league nights and also on the weekend review show, but if you're looking forward to a specific matchup going to the schedule, you can see the team rosters. Free agents can see who their competition is going to be for season 6. It's a really a great piece of information, a great asset to the league.
Absolutely, and honestly, my favorite part is looking back at the history of the league, where we started, all the stats, and how the players and the teams, and honestly, just how the league in general has evolved into what it is. Those early stages, man, it was dark times, but in the best way possible.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And if you have any interest in becoming an admin in the QRLS, you should probably start studying up the stat sheet, specifically the season standings and the award history, because the commissioner will probably quiz you on a regular basis to make sure that you're educated on QRLS history.
No fake fans out here on the admin board, that's for sure. Love us our stats. And, ladies and gentlemen, Bleacher Boys versus Clarity United tonight. If you haven't already, go check out that YouTube channel. All of the matches that have ever been streamed from the end of Season 3 onward are on that YouTube channel. It is our home. It is our archive for all of the streams that we do post. So go check it out. It's great material. It is honestly so much fun. Last season, Mass, there were some matches specifically in leading up to the playoffs last season. Just because of how crazy the implications were, every loss could have been detrimental to a team at that point. And the commentating is top tier.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anybody else's on the stream staff, but we've definitely got some of the highest quality play-by-play and color commentating that I've seen out of any non-professional level Rocket League casting, or really any esport casting. So that is an honest and true opinion. I've seen a lot of Rocket League across across my years in this game, and the QRLS is up there with some of the best. And God, do I wish that the Twitch and the or specifically the YouTube existed back in season 3 when I joined, because there were such good games that I so wish I could rewatch, but we weren't saving our VODs at the time on the Twitch, so those are lost to my memories, but don't have to worry about that anymore.
Absolutely, and it is so much fun to think back at it and just reminisce on the early stages of the league. And ladies and gentlemen, players have hit the field. It is exactly 9 o'clock, and we thought we might be using all 10 minutes here, but nonetheless, players are punctual here in the QRLS, and against all odds, we are having a Savage Division matchup here tonight, Masamune.
Absolutely. There's no awards for punctuality, but hopefully we don't start becoming late enough to necessitate such an incentive. But big shout out to the team captains for as well as the stream staff and admins for keeping their heads on a swivel and being flexible to make sure that our games kick off on a timely manner.
No doubt about it. Ladies and gentlemen, quick shout out to Sir Bro Dude, who is the captain of the Speed Demons franchise, for gifting out a Tier 1 sub. And I cannot thank the community enough. All of our captains, it's honestly become a competition at this point. But needless to say, players are hitting the field, and we have some Rocket League to show you here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Clarity United taking on the Bleacher Boys. Masamune, big matchup.
Absolutely. The kickoff, the countdown, we're all set as Jet and Heartless take the field. A quick shot on net saved by Alex, getting those stats right off the bat with a pre-flip jump, pre-flip flip into that ball to get it down to the field onto the Bleacher Boys side of the net, but Alec Big collecting and pushing the offense. Jet there to counteract.
Yeah, and a lot of great back and forth already by both sides. A lot of fast-paced action. Alec Big's last man back as Bearded Pharrell now trying to get this thing into the offensive zone. Great pinch there by K1 Killer and Heartless. This is on net off the post. That was a close one.
What an amazing pinch shot. Even Alex was almost unprepared to save it, but Heartless sniped the sharp mid-bounce off that side wall. It was a pass from Alec Big, an amazing pass, and amazing accuracy there from Heartless to give Bleacher Boys the early lead.
Yeah, early lead by the Bleacher Boys. They are looking to turn their early season around with some wins here in the Savage Division. Alec Big in the corner, looking to corral, doesn't quite get it. K1 follows. Pass out to Heartless on the opposite side of the field. Gets the touch off that sidewall. Alex is there off the back wall. One of the best this league has to offer. And we see now more pressure from the Bleacher Boys here in Masamune.
Bleacher Boys are so... from experience, they're so momentum based that you really you can't give them an inch, and Alex will take his mile with a cross-field air dribble into an air dribble bump. I'm not sure who it was that he knocked out of the way, but I think it was directly onto Heartless, the Goomba right into the shot. You gotta think that's gonna demoralize them a little bit, but hopefully they can get back here on the offense.
The Goomba of all Goombas. That was the most insane goal I think we've seen all season, Masamune. What? Part of me wants to think it was calculated. Foot reset! And what a save by Heartless. He got that one back.
A triple team save was probably what you needed to get a shot like that out of the danger zone. But Alex voluntarily puts it back in front of his net, and Bleacher Boys there to capitalize. But now 2-on-1, Jet going down the field, but inadvertently gets into Alex's way as now K1 pushes the offense back. Alec Big looking to collect, but Alex skillfully takes it out of danger.
Alex now gets the clear on K1 Killer's shot, has all the time in the world, looked for the fake, but great pressure there by Alec on the defensive end to get this thing out of Alex's possession. Bearded Pharrell pass out now. The Jet nice and patient at the mid, doesn't quite get the shot he wants. Bearded Nice kiss floater. Alex looks for the dunk, and Alec Big gets the save.
Absolutely, and a little bit of miscommunication here on the corner as K1 and Alec Big can't decide who wants to go for that ball most. Heartless with the calculated back pass was not able to connect with his team super efficiently, and Alex is he's just a hyena. He just scavenges those goals out of nowhere. You really can't give him room.
Yeah, Alec Big was the only one left after Alex was already in the air. Tough save there to make, and the Bleacher Boys are now trailing by a goal to Clarity United. This one's on! What a save by K1 Killer! And, you know, these two teams have honestly looked so close here in the early stages. We hit just under halfway to go.
Absolutely, it was very, I don't want to say fortunate, but very fortuitous of Alex to really cut off that Bleacher Boys momentum right as soon as it began, because right now he's just putting on a show, a flip reset off a ceiling bounce under the first defender and over the second. He's just a one-man show.
Great job there. Give Alex the hat trick here in game number 1 as we have 2 minutes to go, and we are underway here on the kickoff. We now see Alex in the corner trying to get the clear off the ceiling. Doesn't quite get the 50 is K1 Killer, but Heartless is right there. What a save by Bearded.
What a save. That man needs to get that tattooed on his chest, because I'm frankly tired of saving it every time he gets an impossible shot away from danger. But now Bleacher Boys with 1:30 left, they've got to find a way to get past that Bearded defense and around that Alex offense if they stand a chance here.
Jet with a nice 50 there into the offensive zone. Can't follow up though. Alex off that back wall. Heartless is there. Gets the clear. Running up the sidewall. Bearded Pharrell. Right to Alec Big, who kisses it in. Can't get the aerial out, however, as he gets goomba'd. Heartless in the corner. Trying to get a pass on. This one shoots across the net. And we now see Bleacher Boys getting a little pressure here. This is their opportunity to make this thing close again.
Like the strategy that they've seemed to adopt of not giving Alex the time that he needs. That's what you gotta do. You don't want to give him momentum, because he can work wonders in the air with that ball. So keep it close, keep the shots tight and accurate, and you should be able to pull out a victory here. Heartless with an amazing demo in the midfield, again going for that bump in the front line, seeing if his backline offense can push up. But now K1 trying to get it in the mid, but the Clarity defense is just rock solid.
And we are seeing a ton of pressure here by the Bleacher Boys, but less than 30 seconds to go. They need a goal and another one quick off a face-off, most likely, if they want to keep this thing alive in game number 1. Alex looking for the flick. Great pressure by Heartless. Heartless has honestly shown out very well here tonight in game number 1.
Definitely, they can't seem to, wrap it in a nice, trip-proof package to put into Clarity's net. I think that they've got all the tools at their disposal, but they need to, utilize them in an effective way to get something past that defense, and at the same time try to stagger that seemingly unstoppable attack, that aerial dominance that Alex is just so well known for. That may have been one of the best shots I've ever seen in the QRLS. The air dribble flip reset into the air dribble bump at the end. That was pretty spectacular.
Yeah, and the shot totals are really close here, Mass. Both teams getting a lot of offense. However, it's all about getting by that last wall of defense. That bend but don't break is something that Clarity United has honestly made a name for themselves in historically ever in the QRLS.
Certainly, and it's frustrating when they give you so much. You seem like you're pushing so far into their half, but it just never really gives way. And then you find yourself overexerting and allowing a shot into the net. And another unfortunate own save from the Bleacher Boys. Couldn't get the last man out of the net quickly enough for the shot. But again, a lot of, offense, a lot of pressure in these first stages of the game, reminiscent of Game 1. Let's see if they can maintain this pressure, keep their heads on a swivel.
Game number 2 is upon us, 30 seconds in. Bleacher Boys have lost the first game of the series. Clarity United leads 1-0 in this series. And we will see how game number 2 fares as we see more pressure. Alec Big looking for the pass. K1 Killer off the back wall. Beautiful demo by Alec Big. Gets the back end demo, but no pass to follow as we now see pressure from Bearded for L. The Jet now gets the kiss. And back and forth here on the offensive end. This playstyle by both sides is honestly very fast-paced, very dynamic. Alec Big for the shot, misses wide.
And you gotta think he wishes he had that shot back. The Clarity defense, they'd done so much work to get it into an awkward position. You really gotta take those opportunities when they're presented, because Clarity doesn't give them up often.
And Alec Big with the good dribble off the sidewall. K1 Killer kisses this up. Looking for a shot on, possibly. Looks to redirect. What a play by K1 Killer!
With the delayed touch, you saw him, goes up, gets the initial touch. The first touch is always the most important. He cuts off his boost just enough to make Alex think that he's out, and then he just slams it home. An amazing shot from the K1 Killer himself.
Amazing shot. He's second in the league in goals going into this week, Massimune. He's having a career season so far as of late and continues it there with that one. That absolute dagger to put this Bleacher Boys squad up 1-0 here in game number 2. Bump on Alex. That's the disruption that the Bleacher Boys are looking for. And we now see Heartless. Gets the clear, just barely gets by. And now we see off the sidewall. What a great pinch off the ceiling by Heartless.
Absolutely, and a bit risky. I'd like to see that a little bit farther down the field. Still 3 minutes remaining. Anything can happen. The last thing you want to do is position the ball in front of your own net while Alex is waiting to slam that into your corner. But now it looks like the Bleacher Boys have found their rhythm. They're really getting their groove on. But sometimes the opposing side will just kind of will help you get there on your own, as Alex just, he hasn't had enough highlight reel plays on the opposite side, so he just figured he'd do one on his.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate clear attempt that results in a goal. However, nonetheless, we now see a 2-goal lead by the Bleacher Boys, and this has been dubbed in the chat a beautiful Cerbron goal.
It really is a trademark Cerbron goal. I don't think Cerbro has ever had an own goal quite that spectacular, but I am ready to be disproven at any time. Here is Clarity. Plenty of time to turn their luck around. They've scored the same number of goals that the Bleacher Boys have technically in this game, so let's see if they can put it in the correct net now, as Alex tries to control it in the corner, but a high floating ball controlled by Alec Big skillfully does not wind up in a goal.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you mentioned the goal differential here, because both teams have scored 3 so far in this series. Dangerous touch there. K1 corrals it. 1:30 remaining. You got to think the Bleacher Boys are more than willing to watch this thing tick.
Absolutely. I think that you see them stacked pretty closely. That they want to play safe. The last thing they want to do is extend. You see that first man immediately going back into defense as soon as he puts the ball in an advantageous position. They're not in a position where they need to overextend themselves. So this is exactly what I want to see.
And a weird redirect there. This was on net, and we see Heartless be there for the save. And Bearded Pharrell now putting the pressure on, trying to get the Clarity United squad back in this game number 2. And Alec Big off the sidewall. K1 Killer. Pass off, and Heartless is there off the post. Alec Big looking for cleanup. No.
Great control there from K1, and Heartless doesn't quite wind up in a goal, but the third man had to go for that shot, which is always super risky when there's still time enough left for a comeback, as Alex tries a slow shot into the net, but Heartless is there to turn her around. Another high floating ball. Alex going for the air dribble. Bearded trying to back up, but the defense is just too strong with 20 seconds left. You gotta think anything short of an absolute pop-off gives this game to the Bleacher Boys.
No doubt, K1 Killer doesn't get there in time. The Jet puts it in, and you're saying there's a chance.
You know, unfortunately, I definitely just cast the cursed, the ever-living goodness out of the Bleacher Boys, because as soon as I say that it's basically over, the Captain Jet puts it right into the back of their net. Let's see if they can hold off these last 10 seconds, as K1 is in the air, so far looking good, but Alex is about to take control of Jet with a high pop into the side, and the Bleacher Boys hopefully involuntarily put it on their own side, but they will drop it for another 1-1 series. Quicksilver, I think this is yet again what we asked for, another competitive series.
No doubt about it. This is honestly exactly the formula that we have been looking for. This is honestly so much fun. Another Game 3 to decide a series, and no sweep means that second place in the Savage Division is safe for another week in terms of Vibe Clan.
Absolutely, Vibe will be just wiping off several layers of sweat after that loss to Astros, that they will not be superseded either by Bleacher Boys or Clarity, but one of these teams will be much closer to competition, to higher levels to a more competitive standing as far as the playoff race is concerned by the end of the night.
Yeah, no doubt. And remember, second place in the division this season does not guarantee a playoff spot due to the new playoff format. So a lot to keep in mind there, as that might not even be good enough come 6 weeks from now, Mass. But needless to say, this is big wins all around for both of these squads. Who's going to break the ice here tonight? We will find out in just over 5 minutes, with the Bleacher Boys taking on Clarity United. Game number 3 to decide the series here tonight.
Absolutely. As the kickoff goes, Bearded and K1 almost get an identical 50-50. K1 Alex collecting on the backfield. Heartless not wanting to give him any kind of space. This low game seems to be in the cards for this game 3.
Alec Big wanted the spicy touch there, just couldn't get there in time off of his first touch, and now we see the Bleacher Boys immediately putting a bunch of pressure on Clarity United here, as Alec Big keeps tossing this thing in front of the net.
You see their confidence has been restored after that game 2 victory. So hopefully they don't push a little bit too hard after that victory, and they still play safe and capable of pulling in the last game victory.
And still pressure here by the Bleacher Boys. They have been on the offensive for all of 60 seconds. And now we see Heartless with the 50. Jet's last back. Kisses it to K1, who kisses it out to the sidewall. Pass off that wall. In the air, Alex meets him. Heartless bangs that thing into the offensive zone. Bounce. Bearded's last pick. Heartless gets the shot. What a save by Bearded. Where did he come from?
You saw him going for the squishy save, and both players, Heartless and Bearded, just stopped in their tracks to see who would make the play to make the difference. And Bearded, just calm, cool, and collected as ever, aborts the squishy save and gets Heartless out of his offensive push. What a play from the all-time savior.
Back pass by Heartless to Alec Big, puts this one on goal path. K1 can't get it by Alex. Heartless now, great challenge. 50 at the mid. The Jet can't get the clear he needs. K1 turns on it, going backwards. Miscommunication there as Alec Big now bumps K1, and Heartless's last back gets the clear, and we are in transition yet again. And finally, it looks like Clarity United getting a little bit of offensive pressure here in game number 2, 2 minutes in.
Absolutely, so much confusion on the field. Neither team really seems to have been able to wrap their minds off what the other is doing. Heartless trying to put a nail in the coffin here, but Bearded again gets it out. How many saves is that in this game?
Bearded is on another level, ladies and gentlemen. He is one of the all-time greats in this league simply because of his save repertoire. And nonetheless, 2:28 remaining. No goals here. The trend has been turning in to bend, don't break for both sides here after that second game.
And you see the nerves are just hitting both squads. They recognize how important this game is, because there's just easy collects in the midfield and the backfield. They're just not being hit. Both teams do not want to be the first to make the critical mistake that gives up a goal.
Heartless now trying to get the clear. Alec Big off that sidewall. Heartless puts this one in the offensive zone. Alex is there. Sidewall touch, however, he corrals it. Bearded misses on the touch. K1 Killer looking for the pass. Credit Alex with the save there, as they credited that one as a shot on goal by K1 Killer. Alec Big pass off that sidewall. K1 now back and forth across this net. The Bleacher Boys are honestly doing such a good job here of keeping the pressure on.
Absolutely, you know, I'm at the edge of my seat because even the slightest mistake can just be disastrous for both of these teams. But that bend don't break defense from Clarity is just showing up in spades. But that pop could be the end of it. But no, Alex with no boost is unable to get his car high enough for that double tap. But Bearded comes in with just a laser into the corner that Alec Big, you know, another prolific saver in this league, gets out with ease. But Alex collecting from the sidewall almost puts it in. Jet trying to go for the finish, but neither team able to finish the deal. With less than a minute remaining, one goal could be the deciding factor here.
Yes, we might see overtime here as Heartless gets the clear. Alex off that sidewall. Alec Big now in that corner, turns on it, off the wall, gets the touch he wants. Alex off the sidewall, puts one on, misses high!
That was a spicy shot, just a little bit too wide, but it had just enough power to get past the last defender, so the goalpost had to be the fourth Bleacher Boy. But now Heartless trying to get this ball out of the danger zone. Jet, last man back, as Heartless going to be able to capitalize off the ceiling, going for the bounce shot, unable to get it quite on net, and just the clear to end all clears from Alex gets Clarity out of another tough situation, and the ceiling bounce, Heartless able to collect deftly and cautiously as we wind down the clock. Is Alec Big able to put this in the net for the final shot? No, we go into overtime.
And Alec Big looks like he wanted to flick that in at 0 for a hot second, but nonetheless, we have overtime in match number 2 here, ladies and gentlemen. This is exactly how we drew it up. First goal of this third game is going to win it here, Mass.
Absolutely, and you got to think that controllers are just soaked with sweat. Buttons are shaking. I don't think anybody here plays mouse and keyboard, but if they did, those keyboards would be just on fire. Any second could spell doom for either of these squads. A single goal separates them from glory.
Great pass to Alec Big, who puts it in the offensive zone. Back to Heartless. Passing play here. Alec Big can't get it by the Jet.
And that's a theory back, really hard back recoil off the back wall from Clarity that could put them in an advantageous position. But Bleacher Boys able to collect. Heartless is just so consistent with those midfield collects, and that just is so important to safeguarding a defense.
Alex gets it by K1,
no,
and that's on net, and the game is over.
Look at the just what predictive. Look at how early he jumped. He was in the Stone Ages when he jumped for that ball. Not only did he completely squash the offensive push, but it was so unpredictable that the defense was just not ready to establish an adequate way to safeguard that shot. What a performance from Alex RL tonight.
An absolute insane performance. What a great match by both sides, making this thing enjoyable to watch and making this thing a nail-biter as always. And I cannot wait to see what comes next. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. The Hammerheads versus Cyclones will be up at 9:30. Do not miss it. We will be right back.